Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Hello and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Godless Engineer over there. Hi, John.
What's up? How you doing?
Oh, it's been a week. Yeah. Oh God, has it been a week? So my kids were at a summer camp last week, and it's just a day camp, so they're not staying the night. And it's 45 minutes away. So that's hour and a half driving in the morning, hour and a half driving in the evening, right at rush hour, right in the worst spots of the highway in the Niagara region. I almost got rear-ended by a truck one of the days because there was a construction area and all the traffic completely stopped, and I guess he wasn't looking ahead, so he had to slam on his brakes at the last minute, and he had to actually swerve off the road and up beside me. So that was scary. So
yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it's been rough. That said, I have been finding myself working more efficiently, so I was able to do some shit for the stream today that I normally that I've been putting off for ages. For instance, you see at the bottom of the screen we've got top super chatter and top tipper, none yet or whatever. So whoever sends me the most money gets to see their names down there. And right now you basically have to send $1 and it's yours. I don't know. That was just kind of something I discovered while I was learning all sorts of other stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, why the fuck not?" But anyways, I actually have I have a feed now. I've apparently Stream Elements has a thing where you can you can install I guess it's an extension for OBS, but it acted as though it was going to be its own program. I didn't even know what it was when I installed it. I was just like, oh, Stream Elements has an app. Maybe it's an easier way to edit these background thingies that I do on them. Okay, well, I'll see what this is. And I installed it and it completely redid my OBS. And so now I can look at super chats and stuff that have come through in the past, whether YouTube shows them on their thingy or not. So I can even replay them. So here's from when just some geeky guy sent me $10 last week. There we go.
Oh, nice.
So
that's a plugin for OBS.
Yeah. So
what is it called?
I just Stream. I don't know. I just went on the Stream Elements website. There's
okay.
Casey sent me $10 there. Said love you both. And it didn't update the top super chatter thing. So maybe that's. Oh no, there it goes. It did. And now I have them overlapping because I don't know what I'm doing apparently. Well, yeah, I mean it's a new feature that I've just been playing around with today, but I can replay that now. So if I miss it, I can go and I don't have to putter around on websites to figure it out.
Awesome. I'll have to look into that because I'm always looking for a good way to showcase the super chats and everything like that in my streams.
Yeah. I like it, but anyway, I am just quickly going to do. Let's move.
Oh, also, I love you too, honey. Just
save. There we go. Spread them out a little. Oh, and now we have a super chat war. Samuel Patre says just another geeky guy. And he's stealing the thunder from your wife. Yeah, so how have you been recently?
I've been pretty good. Just, trying to grind all this out on YouTube. I always hate it when I put in a lot of research and work into a video and then it just falls flat, but it's one of those things that's important to me. So that was a little disappointing last week.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm about to take a vacation to San Francisco. So that's going to be fun. Nice. I can't wait for that. A much needed vacation. So I'm trying to get ahead on videos and stuff like that right now.
Oh, been there. Yeah, I could use a vacation, but the problem is my vacations always come with kids.
Yeah.
This is like,
Well, I mean, yeah. So we're
oh,
taking a
no,
vacation.
because I'm
when we
thinking
don't have
like I went
Xander.
camping for a few days last week. That's a vacation. Why didn't I feel rested from that? Because I was camping with the kids, and it's all like, it makes everything harder because now you got to do all the same stuff you do normally, but in a scenario where like I don't have a fridge and a stove.
Right.
Oh yeah, and the pool at that place. Like normally I do tent camping at a conservation area where there is no pool. If you want to go swimming, you go find a lake. But like this year,
Right.
I just like rented a cabin at a campground in Niagara Falls that caters to tourists and stuff. So it's not a good place. But the pool there, no shade, zero shade. It was like 100% concrete, zero shade. And I don't like to swim. I'm not a swimmer. I just sit beside
Oh,
like
really?
sitting beside the pool with a beer is the best way to enjoy a pool. That kind of presumes that there's some shade available.
Yeah.
So
See, I'm a very big swimmer.
I
Sorry, I
found
interrupted you.
I found all the spots on my body where the sunscreen missed because the kids spent all day in the pool and
Oh.
I was sitting beside them. So I was like, okay, well, there's a red spot there. So I,
Yeah. I was actually a lifeguard in high school. So I'm very acquainted with the water.
oh, here's another new feature I got. So I used to use an extension called Twidget to display chat messages or whatever, and it worked.
Oh yeah, this one.
It worked well, and it was pretty easy to use, but it wasn't the prettiest, and a lot of times the images were broken, and it didn't have like an entrance animation. It was just suddenly there's a thing there, or suddenly it disappears. So I found another one, and this one actually has like a little pop-up animation. I haven't placed it properly, so that's Adam Broughton saying 6 a.m. alarms should be illegal. I haven't placed it properly, so like the longer comments are going to be like over the middle of. Like I just selected that one for an example, so it's going to like cover everything up, but like is like the placement and everything is not the most user friendly. It's a Chrome extension, and it operates on the pop out chat that you get in the studio. But
Okay.
in order to edit the placement and everything, you either have to edit the browser source or whatever in OBS, which makes the whole thing small and impossible to read, or if you edit the parameters of the Chrome extension, you have to do it by typing numbers into text boxes, and you don't see it until you refresh the browser extension and everything, and it was too much of a hassle, so I didn't do it this
Oh,
time.
okay.
Limited Light says, oh, it's got a neat little super chat logo thingy with like a shiny thingy that goes across it. That's neat. Limited Light says, but should I do a 14er finally this weekend? I don't know what that means, but thanks for the money. Tech boys and their toys. Yes. See my toy beside me. The astute among you might have noticed that this is not my normal computer because I upgraded my computer purely aesthetic. I didn't need to, but essentially I have some money from Mrs. Rhino's life insurance, and I was like, you know what, I had a bit of a windfall, so like I know I'm being responsible with it and putting most of it aside, and for taking care of the kids and education and paying off mortgages and crap like that, so I'm going to be responsible with the vast majority of it, and like there's enough that I can do something fun for myself. And every time I thought to do that, I was like, oh, but I don't want to spend it because I don't know. I'm actually very fortunate financially speaking in that I enjoy seeing a number in my bank account more than I enjoy buying things. So it's always
Yeah.
been fairly easy for me to save up unless I'm hard up for things that I actually need. So I actually forced myself to be like, okay, I don't need this stupid computer case or these really expensive but easy to use and cable managed fans, but I'm going to do it because it looks nice. It makes me feel happy. And I like it, but yeah, purely aesthetic. Although there was one functional thing. I updated the motherboard because I have this. That was not a good thing to do with my delicate electronics just now, but there's a 10 gig Ethernet card that I used to have in this one that I'm now going to pull out and put in my storage server because I changed the motherboard out on this one to one that has 2.5 gig Ethernet instead of just gigabit. So now I can, like, once I get that in, I'm going to have a really, really fast connection between this computer and my NAS. So that will make working on stuff that's on the NAS a little bit less painful.
Okay.
Why don't demons mess with me? I don't believe in them. Well, here's the thing about that. So I have some mental health issues. Most people are probably aware I have been recently diagnosed with ADHD. And I when I got my diagnosis, I also scored pretty high for depression and anxiety. Like, not high enough that it was like immediately these are things that we need to start treatment for now. It was more like okay, you're close to needing treatment for these, so let's keep an eye on it sort of thing. 3 hours of driving through nasty traffic did not help that. But yeah, mental health issues will often be the demons that they say you have. So like, I'm not going to go into details, but I did have some issues last weekend that were related to the anxiety that I had from all this extra, like I went from sitting inside, not leaving the house for anything except for groceries and the occasional date, to having to drive for 3 hours through the most stressful traffic in the region every day. And I had some, I don't want to say an episode, like I don't know. I'm not going to go into details, but like there were things that, like, if I were prone to believing in demon possession, stuff like that, it would absolutely be like, oh, these are demons attacking me sort of thing. And that I've definitely seen sermons from preachers that would reinforce those sorts of ideas, and they would think that, like, oh, well, the reason atheists struggle with mental health so much is because they're being attacked by demons all the time and they don't have the power of Jesus to ward off the demons, when in reality it's just, if you're not being told that mental health stuff is demons, then you're just more likely to go and get actual treatment for it.
Yeah, it's much harder to actually deal with the issue than just I'm trying not to be derogatory about it, but just sort of I guess just ignore it. Like, I feel like that's what in that particular situation is the only, not really a benefit, but it is the only result, is that, you know, it makes it easier just to ignore the issues rather than actually deal with them.
Yeah. Air in the chat says, I just started the process to try and get ADHD diagnosed. I just did the intake yesterday. That's thanks to you, Rhino. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad that I could help, because mental health is a very important thing, and it's definitely been helpful to me to know why certain things are the way they are for me. Like, it's still hard, but, like, you know, now when I look at the mess that is my house, it's like, yes, I still need to clean it. Yes, I need to figure out a system that works for me or something like that. But now I don't need to be like, oh, well, I'm just being lazy. Now it's actually like, oh, I know there's actually, like, things wrong with my, well, yeah, I don't have executive function as much as I should. So there's stuff that's not happening in my brain that would make these things easy. And the guy who actually turned me on to the idea that I might have ADHD, so got me to go and get diagnosed, he also has a thread on habit formation, and I related to that pretty much perfectly as well. Like, that's why I got diagnosed, because every time he posted a thread about what it's like living with ADHD, it was like, that's what it's like in my head. So eventually it's just like, okay, if I feel like I identify with every single one of this guy's threads on what it's like living with ADHD, maybe I have ADHD. So I see, now I don't even remember what I was saying. Messy house. Diagnosis.
You were talking about driving in your car and being very being a little overwhelmed, and you could see how that would easily be mistaken for, like, demon attacks.
Yeah,
and
I think
how this relates back to the thing.
No,
like kids can now think that demons may attack them in the future or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think where I was maybe going with that was that Oh yeah. So no, with regards to like getting yourself diagnosed. So this guy in the chat saying he's going for the diagnosis. Just having the diagnosis is helpful in that I don't beat myself up as much. Like I still do because it's hard not. Oh yeah, habit formation. So ordinary people, when you don't, like neurotypical people, you form habits. So you just start doing stuff without even thinking about it. And so he's got this guy has this big long thread on how habit formation in ADHD doesn't really exist. Like every time you do something, you have to put mental effort into doing it. Nothing's just automatic. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of true. Like there are days when I don't brush my teeth until like 4:00 in the afternoon because I just didn't think to brush my teeth. And 4:00 in the afternoon is when I ran my tongue over my teeth and went, ew, that's gross. Because it's not a habit, because habit formation doesn't happen in the same way. And so it's the same thing. Like so many times I've looked around and been like, okay, well, I know it's not hard to put this dish in the kitchen, but for some reason it stays there because I just don't think, like, I'm not in the habit of just when I get up, look around for dishes, pick up the dishes, take them to the kitchen. So I just don't know. Like I think to take it into the kitchen when I get up, and then by the time I get up, I've forgotten about it. And I don't have the habit to just look around to try and remind myself. And so it's helpful to know that. So now I can try and figure out ways to to trigger my memory of things that I need to do. This is where like post-it notes get along great with ADHD people. There's like, cause you put something somewhere where you look frequently to remind you to do something that for most people would be habitual, but for me is not. Anyway, I'm off topic.